Okay, we're here, we're ready, and we're going to talk about your favorite thing, Web3. About once a month, I think about the max pain that is the $27 million that is permanently locked in the Akutar's contract. Tropo Farmer bringing up a crazy point. Holy sheesh. If you don't know, Akutar has launched an NFT project, sold out, things were incredible until they realized that the funds couldn't be pulled out of the contract. $27 million. Oh my goodness. If you're just tuning in for the first time, what's up? My name is Schiller. Normally I have the webcam on, but I thought, hey, let's focus on the audio and the visuals, because last video I did, I realized that this wasn't, for you to be able to see, I need to zoom in unless I'm doing the post edits here. So my dude ass highlighting this report that came out. FTX says IRS demand for $24 billion in unpaid taxes is delaying recovery of user funds. So the FTX debacle, apparently they might reopen as an exchange, which is crazy to begin with. But I guess the reason that they can't pay people back from the bankruptcy is because the IRS is demanding $24 billion. What a world we live in. Holy sugar shit. All right. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren introduces bill to crack down on the Bitcoin and crypto industry and bring it into greater compliance. So this was another story that came out today. The bill was very, very bad, to the point of I saw a comment where people within the states wouldn't be able to run like validator nodes and all this other stuff. But of course, it is what it is. But anyway, if you remember just the other day, particularly on the weekend, everybody was euphoric as hell. And the comment here, and BTC took a dump early. Now tell me these crooks don't insider trade. Things were going great. All of a sudden, Monday comes out and there's a bill right after crypto crashes. That's a little strange. And then in context, for anybody that is looking into that more, I'm potentially worried because it is a pretty crazy bill if you do your own research. In her decade as a senator, Elizabeth Warren has introduced 315 bills. Only one has been enacted into law. That's a 0.32% success rate. Holy jeez. And speaking of a 0.32% success rate, I don't know what this team is. I don't know anything except it's basketball. But apparently they beat this other crew 108-14. Holy sugar. If you haven't seen Max Payne, the NFT that Xcopy launched, apparently you can burn it for this new piece that's called Oblivion. And this was an update 1 hour post the burn. Oblivion is holding a 1.09 ETH floor. Max Payne is at 0.58. So a solid 0.5 ETH gain for those who burned before fees. Scroll down to the comments. And of course, somebody pointing out, unless you are original minter, which was 1 ETH. And then if you go further, when 1 ETH was 3.14. People that are into NFTs, gotta love them, right? So anyway, kind of interesting that that's now finally the Max Payne is getting a burn for it. Really cool piece here. Nifty Monkey. I highlighted this on like a video like forever ago, but I just think the art is really crazy. It's cool. It's very captivating, and I just wanted to highlight this super quick on here. All right, apparently Pixelmon is getting a token. So this is from Pixelmon's CEO. We'll only release info as we are 100% certain of it. You guys know that the token generation event depends as much on the Pixelmon roadmap as on the launchpad queue of the major centralized exchanges. But what we know, distribution will prioritize the Pixelmon community above all other groups. Mon's objective is IP ecosystem powering and scaling. Mon is a result of endless hours of feedback and brainstorming. And it's just, the thing with this is we're seeing time and time again now that NFTs are just launching a token. How many of these things are going to actually succeed? Interesting point from Facts here. Web3 gaming is where perfectly good crypto goes to die. You played yourself. So looking at the Pixelmon, looking at whatever game you have out there, is it just an individual game? Is it an ecosystem? Is it something that can sustain and also garner demand, because it feels similar to the early NFT type projects where everybody had grand visions of things. And, you know, if they had the funds for it, they probably could have gone through with it. Some people sold out, some people didn't. And then, you know, we fast forward to the people that got the funds, and we still have collections that ended up not being able to kind of complete anything. So it's a very interesting time when everybody's wanting to get in, new hot shiny things, token here, there, the other thing. Like, I mean, Pixelmon's still going up in value. We're seeing Pudgy's rip, which we'll get to in a second, off of token rumors for that. It just seems like everybody's launching a token, and what ones are going to have tokens that actually have something that are going for them. And on this trend about Web3 tokens and just games in general, CoinGecko, they put this in an email a while ago, I believe, but they put it out here. How many Web3 games have failed? And they show in 2023 for the number of games launched is 720, where 509 of those 720 failed, essentially. So success rate's super low, but everybody's throwing out coins out there and wanting to get involved. So again, just be careful, because a lot of things end up not working. And I'm not going to say this isn't working, because I don't necessarily think that it's not or whatever, but JPEG Flippa, officially the dumbest thing I ever spent money on in the entire Web3 space. So these are the mechs. Yuga was partnered with Enway, and this ended up doing crazy amounts of volume. I want to say that they ended up getting like 5+ mil from the mint. The hype was the fact that it was just associated with Yuga in any sort of way. Obviously, some people vibe with it, some people didn't, but before people even played it, they were buying those NFTs. So again, there's going to be opportunities to get into stuff, but think if like, hey, are you going to actually play it, or are you just hoping that other people are going to play it and you are wanting to potentially benefit from that? So the Pudgy Penguin saga is pretty nuts. I posted the other day about how we're seeing people with big assets, excuse me, that are selling off and putting it into bulk of another. So the wallet that dumped 3 Fidenzas for 53 WETH each to buy Pudgies and Lil Pudgies for 10 and 1.1 ETH also just sold an autoglyph into a 115 WETH bid. This person has truly been flooring generative art to buy Pudgies. The last autoglyph sale of this price was in 2021. So, yeah, that's pretty nuts from that standpoint, but we'll continue with the Pudgy trend here that might make a little bit more sense. So, TLDR on what just happened to Pudgy Penguins, and it's about the price action that recently happened. A guy buys 180 worth of UPPG, taking Penguin's floor to 20 ETH on flooring platform. So this UPPG is like a lending site, and they have like a token that they're able to make from these NFTs. And yeah, I don't know exactly the whole story because I've never really dove into it, but you'll kind of understand as we go. So, as expected, our bots and people like me started arbing it to buy, by buying from Blur and selling, take the floor price, and that takes, English here, and the floor price goes back to 10.4 ETH. The guy then rage quits and dumps his UPPG token, taking Penguin's floor to 8 ETH on flooring. Again, our bots and people like me started buying it. Then he again buys 80 ETH worth of Penguins, taking the floor on flooring to 13 ETH. And again, people like me arbed it to 10.4. So was the Fidenza buyer, whoever the hell was trying to leverage buy all this stuff? I don't know. It's also crazy thinking back to how when apes were originally went nuts, BenDAO was like one of the only sites that you could take loans on. Now there's parallel finance. There's the flooring protocol. There's just more and more all the time, and it's pretty crazy. And this guy wanted to remind you that he paid 629,000 US dollars or 400 ETH for this penguin way back when. That takes some nuts. All right, so Pudgy's launched a video where they kind of showed about how they're building their Pudgy World, and instantly we just saw people be like, okay, well, compared to the Bored Ape one, this is better. This is, made with less money. It's been done in less time, et cetera, et cetera. But this is kind of a quick little video of what the other side gameplay looks like for the MMORPG there. And then for this is kind of what the Pudgy World looks like. So again, make up your own mind about what you think between the two. I think that it's really cool that we're finally seeing these NFTs used in a bigger and a broader scale instead of just having it as an icon. As you can see up here, they have, you know, like a penguin up here. A lot of the times it was games where it was default and then you could have your icon up here and it wasn't actually using your NFT. Now that opportunity is going to be there, so I think that's really cool. And then Jonah was actually at the event where they were showing it, and this is a bit more of what the gameplay looks like from the in-person Pudgy event, which again, I think it looks pretty all right. If you haven't seen, Solana just flipped ETH and it's not even 2024. This was back on December 7th, but in terms of blockchain NFT sales volumes, Solana at 15.196 and Ethereum just below that, about $100,000 difference, but still pretty crazy because I think when we look back, you know, a couple of years ago, I'm trying to think of like Solana with like Solana Monkey Business and then the Degen Ape Club, I believe, something along those lines. I think I messed that up, but everybody knew a billion different collections on ETH, and Solana kind of had those two, plus there was Star Atlas and probably a whole bunch that people that are more in tune with that ecosystem are aware of. But now things are flipping, and it does feel like everybody is just talking about Solana. So we'll see how exactly that goes. There is one indicator that has 100% hit rate on catching the macro top of a full-on bull run in crypto. Coinbase being the #1 downloaded app in the App Store. We can remember that. We're going to be good. And if you haven't seen, Party Bear Swappables is coming for Futureverse. Mr. Aaron McDonald has been showing his bear off. And, you know, that actually looks pretty good. So excited to see what brings this week. For Futureverse, we also have the Racers game and then the Gods and Goblins. We've seen a couple of teasers come out for that, so excited to see what's going on in the Futureverse ecosystem. Hope you guys like this video. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you do, and we will talk soon.